everyone! Today we're creating this DIY marker board, and I'm also doing a Chalkola marker review. So to make the marker board, you're going to start with a piece of paper that is the size of your frame. So I cut my paper to 11 inches by 14 inches. So I decided to create a calendar on my marker board. And the size of your calendar will vary depending on your frame size, but I went 1/2 inch over from the side and marked it. And then I drew a line that was 10.5 inches long. Then I went to the bottom and marked 1/2 inch from the side and drew a line straight down. Then I measured 10.5 inches over on the bottom. And then I drew a line connecting this mark and the top line. And then finally I just drew a line across the bottom. Then I went along this bottom line and I marked every 1.5 inches. And I repeated this on the top and on each side. And then I drew lines down connecting these marks, and then drew lines across connecting the marks. So this formed a grid of 1.5 inch squares. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase the last 4 squares because I only need 31. And then erase any other pencil marks I don't want. Then I'm taking this white Chalkola marker, and I'm using a ruler to guide my lines, and I'm just going over each of the lines. And that's it for the calendar. Now I took a piece of scrapbook paper that had flowers on it and I cut some flowers out, and now I'm just going to trim them a little better. And then I'm going to position it on the paper and glue it in place. This just adds some color and decoration to the calendar. And then I'm going to trim the leaves off so they're not getting in the way, and trim them off on the side so it will fit in the frame. Then I repeated this process with a couple more flowers. Then I had a piece of paper that had these frame things on it, and I cut those out and I positioned them where I wanted them to go and glued them in place. Next, I cut a piece of paper to write the month on and glued that where I wanted it to go. Then I left the back side of this paper blank, so you can put whatever side you want in the frame, whether you want a blank marker board or one with a calendar on it. So next, take apart the frame, take everything that's in it out except the glass, and then put whatever side you want in the frame down and push it into the frame. And then I put the foam back in and then the back on. So next I'm just taking the Chalkola markers and I'm filling out the calendar and drawing any extra details. And that's it for the calendar. And now moving on to the marker review, I was kindly sent these markers by Chalkola for review. They come in a set of 10 markers: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, brown, white, and black. And they have a 5.5mm bullet tip. So let me just show you what this looks like. So this will give you a fairly fine line when you're drawing. I used these on the marker board so I could create pretty small letters and numbers. And these markers are designed for non-porous surfaces, and they erase completely with a wet paper towel or water. They write really smoothly, and I didn't notice any odor from these markers, which is great. They're also non-toxic, so they're great for kids to use. And it says they wash off from clothes, and I didn't test that, but they wash off really easily from everything else, so I would think that that's true. They're acid-free, so they're great for use on paper for long-lasting artwork. And here on the back it has instructions on how to start these. These are a little different than most markers because you have to start them first. So I'm going to quickly show you how to do that. put the cap up and shake them for 30 seconds, and then just start pressing them on a piece of paper until the ink starts to come out. And I noticed the length of this process varies depending on the marker. The black marker took quite a bit longer than the other markers. This pink one was really fast. Most of the colors were very fast. It was just the black one that I had a little bit of trouble with. And I'm showing you this process with a couple different markers to show you that they're easy to get started. And the markers also come in this larger size in a set of 8. This is a 15mm jumbo tip, and these are really great for windows or large drawings, wherever you're covering a lot of area with marker. And I'm just going to show you the tip on these. It's kind of a jumbo tip, so you can kind of take it on the edge and draw a fine line, or draw it with it straight down and get a much thicker line. And these get started just the same way as the other ones. You shake them for 30 seconds and then you keep pressing down until the ink comes out. And I found that most of these were pretty fast to get started as well. And see, I drew on this piece of paper. It didn't soak through the paper. It did cause the paper to buckle a little bit, so if you're going to draw on paper, you want a heavier weight paper. They also sell these chalkboard labels, and these work really great with the smaller markers. And here I'm just going to show you, they come in a set of 80 labels with 7 designs that are shown here. And you can stick these onto mason jars or boxes or anything that you want to label. And here I'm just going to show you writing with the smaller markers on them. They have a really great surface that takes the marker really well. And then once they're dry, you can, if you try really hard, get them off with your finger, but they're much easier to get off with a wet paper towel like I'm doing here. And here's a test to show you how well they work on paper. They don't blend a ton on paper, but a little bit. They blend well on glass while they're wet. And here I'm testing them on a bunch of different surfaces so you can see how well they work on a variety of things. So overall, I highly recommend these markers. They're great for artists, teachers, DIYers, and just anyone that likes to draw. They're lots of fun. So I have a code for 20% off both sizes of the markers, and I'll put the codes and the link to where to get them in the description. So check it out if you're interested in chalk markers. Thank you for watching.